So we cut, and we could. What I had was, see these cards. There's a scene in this which is shot in Northern California, and there I met a guy called Dennis Jacob. Dennis Jacob, if you look at the end of Apocalypse now, he's on, his name is there, I think, as creative consultant. He's a guy in his 80s now. He gave the band The Doors the name The Doors, for example, and he's still used by Hollywood a lot as when there's a real structural problem with a script. They bring in Dennis Jacob, and he solves it. And I find myself sitting next to this amazing man, and I said, well, how come you're so good at structure? And he said, because I don't use a computer. And I said, yes. And he said, you do use cards in your film, don't you? And I said, well, I've taught film a lot, and I've said to other people, you have to use cards. But do I use them myself? No, I use a computer. And he said, use cards. So what I did when I got home is wrote every scene or thought or anything that seemed to fit somewhere on one of these cards. And then it was revelatory for me. All I had to do was sort of close my eyes and think, that scene or that quotation from Joan Didion, where does that come? It became immediately apparent that quotation, there's a quotation in here, I know where New York began for me, but I'm not sure when it ended, I knew exactly that had to go to the flashback. Simple, it just felt extremely right. And again, bits of poetry and other stuff, it felt extremely clear where it should go. So you just sort of take the card and you take it from there and you put it in there, and suddenly you're doing structural work that would be far harder to do on a computer. And then I gave Timo the cards. And of course because he's you work with him, he's brilliant. So he changed things a lot and everything like that. But there was the structure, and that it was such a simple bit of advice from this man, but it really worked for me.